Hi, everyone. This is Miki Tsusaka from BCG Tokyo. I am BCG's Chief Alumni Officer and also a Senior Partner and Managing Director here. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Javier Roglá. Javier was with us in Barcelona from 2005 to 2010. He graduated as principal and he joined and served as the founder of Empieza por Educar, a social foundation that belongs to Teach for All Network in Spain, and was also a member of the Network Advisory Council globally. He then joined Santander in 2016 and now has two jobs. One is the Chief Talent Officer of the bank, and another is the Global Head of Santander Universities, where he's responsible for the world's largest corporate-sponsored higher education support program. He's also CEO of Universidades Holding, where he oversees a network of more than 1,000 universities. So we'll be chatting about Javier's path, of course, his passion for learning, striving for greatness through purpose, and career advice for all of us. So with that, Javier, maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about, well, the many jobs that you have right now. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Miki. And first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be in this series. Well, as you've mentioned, for the past 6 years, I have led Santander Universities. Santander has the largest corporate sponsored program to higher education in the world. Only this year, we're going to be granting more than 160,000 scholarships across our markets, mainly Latin America, Europe, and North America. And just to give you also a flavor of the digital transformation pathway that we've been in, we're going to be having more than 2 million new users in
Wow.
becasantander.com only this year. Yeah. And I took this role after having founded and led Teach for Spain, Empieza por Educar.
Right.
And for a year, I have also been the group's chief talent officer.
Yes.
Under which capacity I support our executive chair, who has the responsibility to fill the 50 top positions in the group. So CEO and ExCo for group and all its subsidiaries. Yeah, that's basically what I do.
So, as Chief Talent Officer today, what would be your top pieces of advice for organizations in general to attract the best talent, to keep the best talent, and help them grow?
Well,
We could spend the whole
I,
podcast doing
yeah, yeah,
help
definitely.
one.
And I, I, I don't have a silver bullet. Yeah, I really enjoy Daniel's pink framework of autonomy, mastery, and purpose when I think about talent attraction, development, and retention. And it's something that we apply every day. But it's the hard thing is not coming with a framework. The hard thing is to actually living it up every single day. Yeah. So when we think about autonomy, we are talking about things like working away from home for families. Or I have recently become a father. Yeah. So I spend a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I spend a lot of time at home. Yeah, that is something that I value very much these days. Yeah, but it's also the ability to direct your career to the things that you're really passionate about. So autonomy in that sense. Yeah. When we think about mastery, basically what it means is to being able to grow and be better every day professionally. And how do we grow and how do we learn professionally? Basically by being exposed to people from which we can learn. Yeah, I mean, learning is mainly a social interaction. Yeah? So again, how do you expose people to other people from which they can learn, and how you spur that continuous learning? Yeah, and then when you think about purpose, it's finding meaning in your job. it's as easy and as complicated as it sounds. Yeah. So I guess that for organizations that think in these terms, leadership and actual leaders need to make a real effort into helping employees find purpose in what they do, yeah, and bring purpose into the organizations.
Well, as I was reading off the bullet points of your incredible career, it sounds so logical and so linear. But I suspect not all days were good, and maybe some days were bad. And if you reflect on your whole career, where you've dedicated so much time to people and talent and education and development, what are some of those learnings or mistakes that you may have made along the way, and how have that helped you? Have those occurrences made you a better leader yourself?
At BCG, and I really love my time at BCG. My spouse is from BCG, so I'm deeply thankful to BCG. Lifelong friends. I think anything that I can say from BCG resonates with most of its alumni. Yeah, but
Oh.
but at BCG, I was a very uh, unidimensional leader, if you will. So because most of us were cut from the same cloth, we had similar backgrounds, aspirations, etc. And when I changed, I left BCG to found a social entrepreneurship, so Teach for Spain, yeah, as you mentioned before. And there, the people that were attracted to the mission of ending educational inequity in Spain were from very different backgrounds, and the motivations. It was a purely mission-driven organization, and they had a lot of stake at the organization's activities and mission. Yeah, and so I really needed to adapt my leadership style and basically become a server, if you will, and 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 then when I came to Santander, which is a very large organization, complex, 160 years old organization. Um, I really needed to evolve once again and understand that my job was not to have the answers. Yeah.
Mm.
And again, I'm an engineer in terms of background. I was at BCG where we are paid to deliver the answers. But I've come to realize that my job now is to help crystallize the questions and give clarity about the questions and what's most important, and then create the conditions so that the teams and the people that are closer to the problems and to the customers develop the solution. So my job is to help them gain clarity and solve any problems that they can have or obstacles to develop the answers. Yeah. So again, this
Mm.
evolution to me has been it hasn't been easy, and lots of missteps along the way because of what's ultimately an identity problem. Yeah. How do you think about yourself and the role that you must play? Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
Provide not always the answers. Very hard for a consultant, perhaps. Well, thank you for sharing that. I've got two more questions for you. One is about encouraging diversity, equity, and inclusion. And again, I know that's a whole area that you have great passion for. No one that I've interviewed to date feels like they're done with that mission inside their organization or out. Um, what is your key to success in making sure that diversity, equity, and inclusion agendas are embraced in perhaps your organization or more generally? Would love to hear your thoughts there.
Leaders should make it a priority, should incorporate it in the day to day by and again, what's not obvious is by truly listening, creating the spaces so that people can actually share what it feels to work in your company, yeah, and to probe for what's uncomfortable or probe for, and really be prepared to looking into the mirror. I mean, that's, and again, it's as easy and as difficult as it sounds. Most of, I mean, and this happens also in product development. When you have an idea for products, all you want to do is to prove you're right. When what you really need to do is to look for ways in which you're wrong. Yeah. Same with incorporating all sorts of backgrounds and personal experiences and people and values into your organization. Yeah, how do you, where are you being wrong? That's the question, because we always, I mean, there's so it's a path, and it will never be completed because people change, societies change, it's an evolving and it's a moving target. And so yeah, I don't have any other silver bullets to offer rather than just making the space and really probing, and really listening and feeling deep empathy for all sorts of people in your organization. Yeah, that would be
Great.
my. Hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts. I'll come
Yeah.
to our question, which is,
Hmm.
and you've given me personally a lot of career advice or things to think about as a leader. But what is the single best piece of career advice you've received to date that you might want to share with the audience?
Yeah, you make me think of that phrase that says, uh, your actions speak so loudly I cannot hear what you're saying. Yeah. So when I think of advice, I think mostly of my parents. Yeah, the example that they set at home. My mom left her career when she had my twin brother and I. And I
Okay.
regard that as the ultimate act of selflessness. Yeah, and I'm not saying. I mean, I'm very supportive of women pursuing careers. My wife is a private equity firm partner, and
Right.
we try
XP.
to split ex BCG herself, yeah, and we try to make it work by holding equitable, what I expect to be equitable shares of the work at home, yeah, but when I think about my mom again, she was super selfless. She put everything behind so that my twin brother and I could be well taken care of. Yeah, and my dad, everyone that has worked with him to this day always says that he was a very righteous person. Yeah, he was just. Um, and and I think of them, and I can only try to live up to the example. That's the best piece of career advice. I try to do what I think is right, even if it's not what's most convenient to me personally. And so far, it's played out well. Yeah.
Well, you are in your early days of fatherhood, parenthood. So good luck. Thank you for sharing that wonderful story
Yeah.
about your family.
Mhm.
And with that, our time is over, unfortunately. But thank you so much for spending time with us. I'm sure the audience would have enjoyed the stories as much as I have as I've heard it live today. So thank you, Javier.
My
And
pleasure.
so please, I hope the audience enjoys the next installation of BCG Alumni Leaders. Thank you again.